Hello students, myself Dr. Vaishali Sangram Shewale, working as Assistant Professor in the Department of Zoology, Sadhguru Gadge Maharaj College, Karad. Today in this lecture we are going to discuss about the comparative anatomy of vertebrates, and from this paper we are going to discuss about the comparative anatomy of respiratory system. First we will see what is respiratory system. Respiratory system is a system which provides oxygen gas which is needed for the cellular respiration, and it removes the carbon dioxide from the body. The respiratory organs varies in invertebrates and vertebrates. In case of invertebrate organisms, the respiratory organs are gills and trachea, while in case of vertebrates, the respiratory organs are lungs and gills. Vertebrate respiratory systems vary depending upon their habitat. In number of lower vertebrates, the respiration takes place by the skin, while in case of the aquatic chordates, the respiration takes place by the gills. For example, tunicates, fish and amphibians. In terrestrial chordates, the respiration takes place by lungs. For example, adult amphibians, reptiles, birds and mammals. First, we will learn about the respiration by the skin. In number of lower vertebrates, the skin is most important protective covering of body. It is continuous with thin mucous membrane in the region of mouth, rectum, nostrils, eyelids and openings of urinogenital ducts. In these regions, the skin becomes highly vascular, supplied with rich blood capillaries. When it comes in contact with environment, it easily receives environmental oxygen by simple diffusion. This diffused oxygen directly enters into the blood circulation. In blood, this surrounding oxygen combines with hemoglobin and forms a compound called as oxyhemoglobin. This oxyhemoglobin transports the oxygen and supplied to each and every cell, where it is utilized for energy production and generation of toxic carbon dioxide. This carbon dioxide, due to its toxicity, it is essential to eliminate out of the body, and for this carbon dioxide enters into the blood, where it combines with the hemoglobin and form a compound called as carboxyhemoglobin. This hemoglobin carries carbon dioxide and gives out through the skin by the process of expiration. The skin in some lower vertebrates acts as a respiratory organ, and the respiration is known as skin respiration or cutaneous respiration. In branchiostomata, for example, in Amphioxus, the skin is thin, moist and wet, supplied with rich blood circulation, that is vascular. However, exchange of gases takes place through the skin. Other respiratory organs are lacking, but its pharyngeal wall is lined by mucous membrane, which is highly vascular and always kept in contact with water current. Through this mucous membrane, easy exchange of gases takes place. In case of cyclostomata, for example, myxin and petromyzon, the exchange of gases takes place through their vascular skin, confined only in the larval stages. In elasmobranch, for example, in Scoliodon, the skin is rough, thick, not helps in skin respiration, but skin mucous membrane of gills are well developed and helps in respiration. Now, Cutaneous respiration in amphibia. In case of amphibia like frog, the skin is much more thin and moist, slippery and loosely attached to the body. It is highly vascular and it acts as a most important respiratory organ in water, air and even in diapause state, means in summer sleep and winter sleep, or it is also called as estivation. The lining of bucopharynx, known as mucous membrane, it secretes slimy mucus in mouth, is well developed for exchange of gases in mouth region. The skin of frog consists of both epidermis and dermis. The epidermis is thin, multi-layered, consisting basal stratum malpighi and outer stratum corneum layers. These corneum layers may be worn out periodically to maintain thin epidermis, easy for skin or cutaneous respiration, while dermis is innermost layer, comprises outer stratum spongiosum and inner stratum compactum layer. This dermis also contain numerous mucous glands. From slippery skin contributes in gaseous exchange and brings about cutaneous respiration. But in case of higher vertebrates like reptiles, birds and mammals, the skin is not moist, wet and slippery like lower vertebrates. Therefore, there is no skin respiration. They develop more advanced respiratory organs like gills and lungs. Now, we will see the gills and the structure of gills. The gills are the main respiratory organs developed in different aquatic lower vertebrates for aquatic respiration. These are more than one in number of filaments and highly vascular, which helps in exchange of gases between blood and surrounding water medium and brings about exchange of gases. This helps in purification of blood. In this picture you can see this is the gills of structure of gills of fishes which are present on the lateral sides of the head. This is the mouth. From mouth the water flows in through the fish's mouth. The muscles pump the water across the gills, and this is the gill filament. Each gill contains the 1000 number of filaments which absorbs the oxygen from the water current. And this is the operculum. Water and carbon dioxide are pumped out through the operculum, means the gases exchange takes place in the gill region, and this is present in the aquatic chordates. Now we will see the gills in elasmobranch. This type of gills, this is the example of Scoliodon. In the fish like Scoliodon, respiration is aquatic because it depends upon oxygen which is dissolved into water. This exchange of gases takes place at the region of these gills. It consists of 5 pairs of gill pouches. You can see here there are 5 pairs of gill pouches are present. And these gill pouches are containing the gills. These gill pouches are present on either lateral sides of the pharynx in a series. Each gill pouch is comprised of anterior-posteriorly. Each opens into the pharynx by the large opening known as internal branchial aperture. Here there is a presence of internal branchial aperture which directly opens into the pharynx and also opens outside by a narrow vertical opening known as external branchial aperture, or it is also called as the gill slit. You can see here there are the gill slits are present which opens outside the gills. In between two apertures, adjacent or successive gill pouches, there is a fibromuscular portion which is known as interbranchial septum. In between two gills there is presence of a septum. Internally each gill septum is lined by cartilaginous rod which is known as visceral arch or gill arch, which is a slender, curved and branchial ray. Entire septum covered by mucous membrane. This mucous membrane on either side of the septum forms many horizontal leaf-like folds which are called as the gill lamellae or the gill filaments. You can see here, this is the septum and these are the gill filaments. Gill filaments. They act as a proper gills supplied with blood by afferent branchial arteries. However, each interbranchial septum bears two sets of gill lamellae, one set on anterior face while other lies on the posterior face. Each set forms half gills called as hemibranch or demibranch, while both sets along with the interbranchial septum forms a complete gills known as hollow branch gill. The posterior demibranch of each septum having lower gill lamellae than anterior demibranch. Thus, each gill pouch having two demibranch of two gills, that is posterior demibranch of the anterior gill present at anterior side of the pouch, while anterior demibranch of the posterior gill lies on posterior face of the pouch. This is in case of Scoliodon. There are total 4 pairs of hollow branch and 1 pair of demibranch gills. In front of first internal gill aperture on either side of pharynx there is oval pit or spiracle. It does not bears gill lamellae, having no external gill slits. It regraded as vestigial gill pouch. Now we will see the mechanism of the respiration. Each gill lamellae has extensive blood capillaries which receives venous blood via afferent branchial arteries, and after purification this blood pass out through the efferent branchial arteries or epibranchial arteries. These all epibranches opens into dorsal aorta during purification of blood. Dissolved oxygen in water comes in the contact with the gill pouches. This oxygen enters into the blood by endoosmosis, while carbon dioxide from venous blood enters into the water through the wall of capillaries by exoosmosis. The exchange of gases at tissue level, that is exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide through the wall of cell, is known as internal respiration. In case of cyclostomata, for example in myxine and petromyzon, several pairs of gills are present. These are much lies on each lateral side of the pharynx. They opens exterior by a single common external branchial aperture, while opens outside separately. Each gill bears a central interbranchial septum covered by mucous membrane which forms many gill lamellae. Now we will see the gills in the bony fishes. For example, in labio, total 4 pairs of gills, each opens into pharynx by interbranchial aperture but not opens outside separately. Since all gills open outside by common opening called as external branchial aperture, all the gills opens outside by a common aperture which is called as the external branchial aperture. All gills on each side externally covered by a fold of skin supported by bony semicircular plate known as operculum. This forms a common gill with highly reduced interbranchial septum. Therefore, both gills filaments freely suspended or hanging in the pharynx. Such type of gill is known as filiform type of gill. Thus, in labio, total 8 such demibranches of 4 hollow branches are present. Inner pharyngeal border or the basal visceral arch forms a comb-like hooked process which is known as gill raker. Here on the inner surface you can see there are the gill rakers present. This is the rachis present on the upper limb, and these are the rachis which are present on the lower limb. This is a single structure of the rachis. Here you can see this is anterior rachis and this is the posterior rachis. These rachis helps to prevent the entry of food particles into gill chamber, which interferes the gill respiration. The gills are highly vascular, which helps in exchange of gases. Now we will go through the gills of lungfishes. For example, Protopterus larva. In case of lungfishes, its larval form bears temporary brushy and vascular external gill filaments. Here you can see this is the Protopterus larva and this is the Lepidosiren larva. In this case, you can see on the lateral sides there is presence of the external gills which are having the brushy structure in both cases. They developed from outer epithelium over gill arch, while in Lepidosiren larva or fish having many combed elongated external gills lies on either side of pharynx for aquatic respiration. Now the gills of amphibia. The adult frog shows lung respiration, but in larval stage, that is tadpole larva, bears gill for respiration. These gills develop in different developmental stages to tadpole during metamorphosis. These tadpole forms or larvae we will see one by one. First one is sucker stage tadpole larva. It is newly hatched larva emerged into water, bears adhesive structure on a ventral side for attachment to the aquatic weeds, along with two pairs of external gills without gill filaments. These gills develop near the head. These are highly vascular and helps in respiration. These are the two pairs of external gills which are present on the lateral sides of the head region. This is about the sucker stage tadpole larva. Second stage is external gill stage larva. This larval stage bears three pairs of gills. You can see here on the lateral sides of head there is presence of three pairs of gills with external filaments, but it develops 5 pairs of gill pouches and 4 pairs of gill clefts. This becomes internal in next stage, and the next stage of tadpole larva is tadpole with internal gills. It shows disappearance of the external gills. In this picture you can see there is no presence of the external gills on the lateral sides of the head, and the development of 3 pairs of internal gills for aquatic respiration takes place in the tadpole with internal gills. In ichthyophis, that is blind worm, during its embryogenesis its larva bears 3 pairs of external gills with which are disappearance when it hatches. In axolotl larva of salamander, it has 3 pairs of external gills. During adult formation they undergo disappearance, means these gills disappear in the adult stage. Gills in reptiles. In adult reptiles there are no gills for the respiration, but during embryogenesis the embryo bears pharyngeal gill pouches with gill slits, develops, these further disappears in the adult formation. Means in some the embryogenesis stages only the gill pouches are present, which disappears later on in the adult formation. In case of the birds, in embryo development temporary 4 pairs of gill pouches are present with 3 pairs of gill slits. They appears during its adult stages, and in case of the mammals only 4 pairs of gill pouches in their embryo is present, and these gill pouches are without gill slits in the embryonic stages only, and it disappears in the adult stages. This is all about the respiration by skin and the gills and the comparative account of the skin and gills. Thank you for careful listening.